Welcome back to Machine Learning Guide. Heads up, this episode is AI generated. I use AI for bleeding edge topics that move too fast for a normal recording cycle. Foundational episodes are still me. Solid now beats perfect never. And hey, you can generate audio like this yourself, even with my voice at ocdevel.com/moremlg. Let's get into it.
AI, jobs, and your career as an ML engineer. Right now, ML engineering is one of the best jobs in the economy. Demand is up 89% in the first half of 2025. Median salary sits at $187,500. Senior roles at the major tech companies pay $320,000 to $550,000 in total comp. Generative AI specialists command 40 to 60% premiums on top of that. The talent deficit is 3.2 jobs for every qualified candidate, which means you have real leverage in negotiations, and yet the role you were hired for is not the role that will exist in 3 years. You're building the systems that will eventually automate parts of your own work, and the window for repositioning is measured in months. That tension between a historically great job market and a rapidly shifting foundation underneath it. And what this episode is about. Before we get into the evidence, here's the short version for anyone whose commute is about to be 30 minutes of escalating anxiety. You're fine right now and you have time to act, but you need to act. The concrete version is this: get your hands dirty with production ML systems, deployment, monitoring, evaluation, not just training. Pick a domain outside pure tech, healthcare, climate, finance, robotics, and learn it well enough to have opinions about what models should do, not just how they work. Build something end-to-end that ships to real users, because the gap between can train a model and can run a model in production is where the job security lives. Get fluent with AI coding agents, not as a novelty, but as your daily workflow. And start developing the product instinct to know what's worth building, because as code gets cheaper, knowing what to build becomes the scarce skill. We'll get much more specific later in the episode, but if you remember nothing else, the safe zone is the intersection of technical depth and something AI structurally can't do yet. Stay there, keep moving, and you'll be ahead of most people in this field. Now, the evidence. We're going to look at the displacement data as it actually stands today, walk through what happened to the professions that got hit first, examine why the common escape routes have serious problems, and then get very specific about what ML engineers should do with the next few years. Let's look at what the displacement data actually shows. The headline numbers sound manageable. Through November 2025, Challenger, Gray, and Christmas counted about 55,000 U.S. job cuts directly attributed to AI. That's 4.5% of total layoffs. Yale Budget Lab found, in their words, no discernible disruption at the macro level. Oxford Economics says firms don't appear to be replacing workers with AI on a significant scale. If you stopped there, you'd conclude this is overblown. But the aggregate data is hiding what's happening at the edges, and the edges are where careers live. Stanford's Digital Economy Lab analyzed ADP payroll data covering millions of workers and found a 13 to 16% relative decline in employment for workers aged 22 to 25 in the most AI-exposed jobs since late 2022. Workers over 30 in the same occupation saw employment grow 6 to 12%. That asymmetry is the key to understanding what's really going on. The displacement isn't showing up as mass layoffs. It's showing up as jobs that simply never get posted. The Bureau of Labor Statistics reported the lowest rate of job openings in professional services since 2013, down 20% year over year in January 2025. Hiring for positions paying $96,000 and above hit decade-low levels. In the UK, graduate job postings dropped 67% since 2022. The company-level evidence makes the pattern even clearer. Salesforce cut 4,000 customer support workers after AI took over 30 to 50% of the company's workload, reducing support headcount from around 9,000 to about 5,000. Microsoft eliminated roughly 15,000 roles through 2025, and Bloomberg analysis showed that more than 40% of their Washington state cuts targeted software engineers specifically. CEO Nadella confirmed that about 30% of Microsoft's code is now AI-generated. Amazon cut 30,000 corporate jobs while pouring over $100 billion into AI infrastructure. Shopify's CEO mandated that employees must demonstrate AI can't do a job before requesting new headcount. A survey of more than 2,000 C-suite leaders found that 46% have already reduced headcount due to AI, with 54% expecting fewer employees within 5 years. The pattern across every company is the same sequence. Contractors and freelancers go first, then entry-level positions, then attrition without backfill. Klarna eliminated the equivalent of 700 customer service agents. Duolingo cut 10% of contractors. IBM paused hiring for routine roles. JP Morgan told managers to avoid hiring as AI deployed. The message from every boardroom is identical. Prove a human is necessary, or the position disappears. Only 9.7% of U.S. firms use AI in production today, and only 15% have achieved enterprise-wide implementation. Goldman Sachs's chief economist said AI had basically zero effect on U.S. GDP growth in 2025. That's both the optimistic case and the alarming one. If this much disruption is happening when adoption is still in single digits, the question is what happens when it reaches 30 or 50%. Now, consider what happened to the artists. The destruction of the freelance illustration market is the most important case study for understanding what's coming to other knowledge work. It happened fast, it was decisive, and the dynamics transferred directly. In China's gaming sector, illustrator jobs declined 70% in a single year. Artists who previously created one scene per day found themselves producing 40 or more with AI assistance.